So when we're first introduced to Eddie, it's a gratuitous shirtless scene with What a Man playing over it.
The hell is that?
It's Eddie Diaz, new recruit. Graduated top of his class just this week.
Immediately, Buck feels challenged in a macho, alpha posturing way. But haven't y'all ever seen someone so hot it makes you mad? That's all I'm gonna say about that. No, actually, it's not all I'm gonna say about that. So while Buck's irritation at Eddie is definitely coming from a place of insecurity over his own value, it can also easily be perceived as him having conflicting feelings over some attraction he potentially felt for Eddie. But I don't actually think that's the case here. I don't think Buck felt much other than jealousy or contempt in the moment. In the meantime, Eddie keeps being competent and iconic, showing up Buck and not even trying. Eventually, they end up in the ambulance with the bomb. Eddie's like, I can get the grenade out, no worries. And Buck, not wanting to miss out on something so cool or be showed up again, goes into the ambulance as well. Now here's where things started getting gay. Once they successfully get the grenade out, a comrade brothers in arms bonding moment takes place. Eddie tells him,
Get that ass under pressure, brother.
I think that what went wrong is that Buck's actor, Oliver Stark, recited his line too earnest on accident, because Eddie saying, you could have my back any day, was him extending an olive branch to have like a peace offering for them, just some guys being dudes. But Buck's responding, or, you could have mine, was obviously meant to be him still being pretty thick-headed and not wanting to seem inferior to Eddie. But why did he say it like that? I saw that scene the first time when it aired and immediately went, oh, are they flirting? Hello? And I would say maybe I have a poor perception and I just want them to be gay, but I've never watched a show and shipped any non-canon couple. I've never seen chemistry between characters that wasn't specifically put there by writers and directors. So, but to add to that, my sister, who was only half paying attention, looked up at that point and went, they're gay? But what's his face has a girlfriend? So far, no reason to believe Eddie is gay, but Buck is definitely not straight at this point. When they go to the bar to rescue the girl in the tailpipe, Eddie says those girls aren't his type. And when I first watched that, I was like, oh, he is gay. And I've seen a lot of people say the way Buck and Eddie walk in that scene is way too close or even flirtatious. And I do not watch TV that closely. Why are they walking like that? I don't walk like that with anybody that I'm not flirting with. And then we go on to Maddie calling Buck out for his crush on Eddie.
So does this boy crush on Eddie mean that you're finally ready to move on from Abby?
That's cute.
On the topic of Maddie,
Plates?
Countertop, kitchen.
Beer.
Also kitchen. Fridge.
Clever.
He is so cute.
but she calls Chimney cute without using his name, and Buck immediately assumes she's talking about Eddie and is just absolutely gagged and floored when he figures out she's not. Buck, honey, pack it up. That's gay. Pack it up. You're gay. Go home. Then Shannon came back, and they were still in love, her and Eddie. I was truly shocked and lost when this happened. I was like, wait, but he's gay? Now, Shannon, when we first see her, says,
needed a husband and a co-parent. And instead, all I got was a life alone in Texas with a baby and you on another continent. I needed someone to have my back.
Which is exactly what Buck is to Eddie. And then the legendary mall elf telling Buck their son is adorable and him just agreeing. Like, I get it. I understand that it was just not worth correcting because who cares what a stranger thinks from the 5 seconds they saw you? But what was the point in writing that scene if not to have them be love interests? Why all the juxtapositions and all the jokes and all the references? I've seen people say that Shannon...
Is that what I am to you? Christopher's mother?
That her saying that is showing that Eddie doesn't like women. But it just shows that Shannon was not serious about Eddie and Chris because she immediately says, I'm fine with that. She's just a deadbeat. Like, she just wanted to have fun with her ex. She didn't care about the kid. I think it's more a reflection on Shannon's character than Eddie's. Side note, she is such a deadbeat. It's not even funny. Why is she like that? Upon rewatching, I'm like really looking for a heterosexual explanation, but I have not found one. Like, Allie comes up again, and I'm like, ooh. It is immediately followed by the scene with Maggot Girl. Like, are the writers even trying? Because immediately having the comments on screen saying they should be a couple and they look cute together. Why do that? Why do that if you don't want them to be a couple? Why do you keep planting that seed into people's minds? Then we're jumping forward quite a bit because I'm only watching the scenes with Eddie specifically. So next time is Buck and Eddie's argument in the grocery store, which is giving marital problems.
No, but he filed a stupid lawsuit. Now I can't even talk to you because of it. You know how much Christopher misses you? How could you? You're not around.
I don't realize that. Maybe I could come and visit Christopher. You know, the lawsuit doesn't prevent that.
No, it prevents me from reaching out to you. I couldn't even call you to bail me out of jail.
Then,
when you decided to sue the department, did you ever stop for a minute to think what that could do to us?
what is the heterosexual explanation there? What is the heterosexual explanation there? Make it make sense. We're gonna move on to Anna next. Anna Flores, Latina queen, who's played by somebody who's not even a little bit Latina. But I'm glad to know that all us brown people are interchangeable to casting directors. So that's great. We love an Hispanic icon. This plot line where Eddie is trying to get back on the horse, like all his friends are telling him to, they're telling him
It's like the universe is screaming at you and you refuse.
Bobby has like a sit down talk with him to tell him it's time for you to move forward because you're only hurting yourself. I think it was a healthy step for him to take to try to put himself back out there and try to look for love and try to look for a family again. But it just ultimately wasn't like it was for Bobby with the grants. He didn't find a family for him to help him move forward. Instead, he found that he was better off without that, or at least specifically without Anna. Maybe it's that he's better off without a wife because it was the same thing with Shannon. He tried to marry her again, and then she got killed. All signs point to no wife for one Edmundo Diaz. So maybe he just needs to work on himself and focus on valuing himself the way that he does for his son. Or maybe it's time for him to start dating men. Who knows? The storyline with Anna was so obviously Eddie learning that he's not ready to commit again, or maybe that he doesn't want to or need to. Anna says there's a lot to be said for getting back on the horse, but there's also some value in learning that you don't like horses. And ladies and gentlemen, Eddie Diaz does not. Maybe horses is a committed long-term relationship, or maybe it's women, because as we all know, he is long-term co-parenting with Buck already. Let's talk about compulsory heterosexuality for a good minute. What that means is that gay women often find themselves in straight relationships before coming to terms with their sexuality. Some women avoided that part of comp het for a long time by labeling themselves as very picky or having high standards, or like in Eddie's case, not being ready yet, using his wife's death as an excuse to not get into a relationship with another woman. That is not always the case. It can also mean that because our society is so heteronormative, young gays growing up sometimes don't know that being gay is an option, so to speak. Of course, sexuality isn't a choice, but I'm saying sometimes it's not even a thought or a possibility that crosses the mind. Many gay people date people of the other sex to conform to our heterosexual society, either knowingly with a beard or by fooling themselves into thinking they can change or ignore who they are, and sometimes they straight up don't know they're gay yet. I'm saying they're in successful, long-term, satisfying relationships, and then after they come out, they're like, what? How did I do that? So Eddie very well could be gay and just not know it yet, despite actually having been in love with Shannon, or he could be bi. I found on Reddit some signs of comp het, which include feelings of nausea, confusion, boredom, disassociation, unemotional / disinterest, or dread, psychological or emotional breakdowns when it is realized that you are about to date or be in a relationship with a man and you have no idea where it came from. Your body feels under attack, but you aren't sure why. This is a big sign, especially after coming to terms with your homosexuality, a physical and emotional outcry of, I can't do this anymore, all of a sudden, in relation to looking at men in a sexual or romantic setting or doing anything physical or sexual with them when it used to be tolerable before. Almost like a switch went off and the comfortably numb filter has been shattered, and you just can't deal with men in that way anymore. To do so will only expose you to disgust and nausea. Tell me Eddie doesn't tick all those boxes. I do.